Hey there, thanks for joining me today. This is Laura Lynn with Keep Inking Up. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up in San Antonio, Texas. And today's video is going to be a little bit different. What I wanted to do is share with you a couple of tips that I do to try to save my paper, my cardstock. These days, with the increased prices of gas and food and all that, I am trying really hard to make the most out of the craft supplies that I already own. And so I've started doing a couple of things to try to save on my paper purchases. So I did want to share those tips with you. So the first one I've kind of shared before. If you've seen in my videos before on how I cut layers and card bases, you know that I always have a stack of our thick basic white card bases ready to go for when I make cards, and I have them both cut in the vertical way as well as the horizontal way. So I always have a stack of my thick basic white cardstock ready to go. And what I've started to do to save money on my solid cardstock is I only use 1/4 of a sheet at a time instead of 1/2 of a sheet, and I add those onto my thick basic white card bases. So I don't make full card bases out of my colored cardstock anymore. I only use 1/4 of a sheet. So that way I feel like anyway that I'm saving money because I'm only using 1/4 of a sheet at a time of my colored cardstock. So I'm buying my solid cardstock less frequently. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So in my mind anyway, that's a paper saving tip. Maybe it's not, maybe it's just in my mind, but I feel like it's saving me something. My other tip is if I'm going to do this, a lot of times my cards have multiple layers on top of this. Well, I don't want to use the entire 1/4 of a sheet if I'm going to put something directly on top of it. So a paper saving tip that I know that I've shared in previous videos when making cards is to cut out a section on the inside of the layer. So for example, this is a piece that I've cut out of a layer before, and I can use this on a different card base or card project. I have a card sample. This is the card sample. So you can see here that I cut it out of this 1/4 of a sheet, and no one would ever know by looking at this. I haven't added this to a card base yet, but no one would ever notice that, or no one could ever tell that this piece came out of there. And I've made a full card front here that I can now put on a card base, but I also have this piece that I can use on an additional card. So that is definitely a paper saving tip for sure. And I tend to use the same dies. You can look through your die set and see what the most is that you can take out. This is one that I use most frequently because I take out a large section of that, but I also use the stitched rectangle dies. This is from the Scallop Contours die set, and this is the stitched rectangle dies. You can see that I can do the similar thing, that I can still have plenty of a frame to use and layer on top of that. You could also use a large circle or a large square. I have a sample where I did that. You can see in this one, I cut out the circle out of the layer, and then I actually used that circle on the card front as well. So that is definitely another way to save on your cardstock. If you're wondering where these cute little hippos come from, they are from the Hippest Hippos, which is part of our celebration that goes now until the end of August. So we're running kind of low on time. We're already halfway through celebration. But what I really like about these are these cute little accessories. And they are from the Hippo dies. I have my little card sampler here of all the things that cut out. Here are the dies themselves. So they cut out the hippos and then have a large variety of accessories that I've used on these two card fronts here. I just think these are so cute. Aren't they adorable? I love the glasses. They look so smart. And look, we now have that, I can't remember the name of it. Shoot, I forgot what it's called. But that puff, like puff paint. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see how that little pom-pom on the top of his party hat is really dimensional? I hope you can see that. So adorable. And then this is so cute. So now all I'm going to do is take these and add them to my pre-cut card bases, and now I've got a card ready to go. And I feel like anyway that I have saved a lot of cardstock in the process. So I wanted to share those two paper saving tips. I hope that you use them, and so you can make the absolute most out of your crafting supplies during this very difficult time in our economy. If you would like to purchase anything that I have used on these cards, I will provide links in the description below. you can't buy the Hippest Hippos stamp set or the Hippo dies. Those both are free items with a qualifying purchase. You can get the Hippest Hippo stamp set with a $50 order, and then you can get the Hippo dies with all these fun accessories for an additional $50 order. So I will provide links to all of those in the description below. Thank you again so much for watching me today. I hope that you learned something new, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.